So how much do you think being stranded in space is worth to you? So, fair question to ask. How much do you think NASA would pay you if you were stuck in space? Like, how much extra, how much bonus money do you think NASA would end up paying you if you were stranded on the International Space Station? Not nearly as much as you'd probably think. Or at least that's what I'm taking away from this. Yeah, it seems that Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams are kind of getting shafted a little bit, considering how how much time they spent on the International Space Station when they you know when they were supposed to come home. Like I said, not nearly as much as you think. Shout out to the New York Post and Emily Crane who wrote this. The U.S. astronauts who have now been finally returned to Earth are likely to get some extra cash from NASA after their week-long trip turned into a 9-month space odyssey saga. But not as much as you might think. They got gypped. Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams made a dramatic return from the International Space Station on Tuesday night after setting off on what was supposed to be an 8-day test flight on Boeing's new Starliner spacecraft last June. After spending a total of 286 days in space, 278 days longer than anticipated, the two astronauts will now potentially be compensated for the inconvenience of their prolonged mission, according to an ex-NASA astronaut. I seriously hope that NASA pays them more, because this is ridiculous. Former astronaut Katie Coleman told the Washingtonian that an astronaut's salary is structured differently from traditional overtime pay, and they're paid like any other federal worker on a business trip. For me, it was around $4 a day, she said. That was back in 2010. $4 a day. Now, granted, that was 15 years ago, so hopefully it's better now. It is unclear what the rate currently is for astronauts in space, but the federal travel allowance is $178 per day. That would be slightly better. $178 per day. What is that? Here, let's tally that bitch up, shall we? What was it? It was 178 per day. Let's see the most I could possibly get. Not possible. Well, times how many days were they up there? 286 equals, yeah, 50 grand. An extra 50 grand, which that's dog shit considering they had to live in space for 9 months and deal with muscle atrophy and eat that shitty food and just all the things that come with prolonged exposure to zero gravity. Oh, where was I? Coleman added, there is some small amount of money per day for incidentals that they end up being legally obligated to pay you, referring to lodging and food. Based on Coleman's experience, when she ended up with $636 in incidental pay from a 159-day mission in 2010, Williams and Wilmore could be expected to earn roughly 1,148 on top of their salaries. If they're getting the higher per diem rate for travel, they'd be paid an additional 51,000 each, which is about what I just calculated. Not nearly enough. Just not nearly enough. Considering that, like, Biden, of all people, could have got them down and never did. It wasn't high on his priority list. And ended up having to be private, SpaceX that had to get him out. Williams and Wilmore have a base salary rate of between 125,000 to 163,000 per year, according to their GS15 rankings, the highest tier of the U.S. general pay schedule. The astronauts returned home aboard the SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule, which splashed down in the Gulf of America Gulf of America, fucking A right, on Tuesday night, bringing their unplanned odyssey to an end. Within an hour, the astronauts were out of their capsule, waving and smiling at the cameras while being hustled away in reclining stretchers for routine medical checks. Yeah, and of course, they can barely walk because, 9 months at 0G would make moving around in gravity again kind of difficult. You have to get used to it all over again. Wilmore and Williams' plight had captured the world's attention and gave new meaning to the phrase stuck at work, turning the pair into household names. While other astronauts have logged longer space flights over the decades, none had to deal with so much uncertainty or see the length of their mission expanded by so much. I mean, yeah, there are people who I think have spent a full year in space. So, you know, it's not the longest that anyone has ever stayed in space, but still, it's definitely fucking inconvenient, I'm sure. Yeah, imagine that you supposed to only go up there for 8 days and you end up there for 9 months. And all you get when you get back is an extra 50 grand. Which again, 50 grand would like be if somebody just dropped 50 grand in my lap, it'd be like life changing money. Not life changing, but it would definitely like my lifestyle wouldn't change, but it would definitely ease some worries, you know what I'm saying? But like for these people, it's just considering what they had to go through, it's just not enough. Not my opinion anyway. Short one today because yesterday's video on the JFK files was so long, but you know the drill. Do the algorithm stuff. Like all the things. Like them and sub and do all the and comment and follow me on X. Find a bone, a big heavy dinosaur bone and hit me in the fucking head with it.